Welcome to the Registered Investment Advisor Podcast, where financial services marketing expert Seth Greene interviews experts, executives, and top producers to share can't-miss tips on how they successfully manage their financial service firms, grow their businesses, create great relationships, and influence the industry. And now, here's your host, Seth Greene.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Greene. Today, I have the good fortune to be joined by Gustavo Couto from Five Rings Financial, an innovator behind the brand Brazillionaires, with more than 200 licensed advisors committed to helping Brazilians achieve their financial goals here in the USA. Gustavo, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Seth. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Let's go back in time. How did you get started?
I got started 10 years ago, living in America. I moved to the US about 24 years ago. And for the first part of my life here, I was not in the financial services industry. I was a technology major working with technology companies. Then something happened in my life. I lost my dad and I looked for purpose. I needed to find something that I could feel good about doing. 7 years after that, I found somebody who told me I work for a company and we teach Middle Americans about money. I said, well, you know what? That is interesting. I could get behind that. So long story short, I asked what it was. I talked to her about the company and I decided to get my license. I had no idea what that was, but I liked the purpose behind it.
Okay. And was that you getting licensed so you could be a financial advisor and work with individuals?
Exactly. So the license for life insurance and annuities. And what we do is we teach people the basics of money, and then we help them with their basic financial planning, which is protection and some accumulation with safe strategies. Now, before that, I was doing trading, day trading. I trade stock options for myself. And I did not want to get into the risk management side with portfolio management for clients because I figured I'm working with Brazilians. They may not understand the stock market. If the market crashes like it did in 2008, they're going to blame me, not the market. So I figured I prefer to stay on the safe side for those clients. So that I decided to stay with that license. And that's my focus since then for 10 years.
That makes sense. And then where did Brazillionaires come about?
So Brazillionaires is a funny name that became a brand. We were in a convention and somebody was joking about us. These guys are going to become millionaires, but they are Brazilians, so they're going to be Brazillionaires. And I said, you know what? That's a good name. From that day on, I asked our people to, every time they send out a report, that they put the Brazillionaires instead of my personal name on the report, just to start that game, right? And what I did not know at that point, I was very focused on becoming an advisor, a consultant myself. But 3 years into the career, I figured I liked training people more than just helping the clients that I could reach. So I started training and forming more agents to our company. So now we are over 500 licensed agents. We all focus on life insurance and annuities and all Brazilians. So it really became a niche for us to work with the foreign nationals that live here and as well as live abroad.
Okay, so the niche is Brazilians who are here in the United States, which I am sure other than you, there's probably no one else marketing to them specifically based on their heritage. Right. Exactly. If anything, they get, the generic seminar invitations or whatever that everybody sends out just by virtue of being the right age and being affluent. The fact that you are marketing to them and speak their language, have the same heritage probably makes a huge difference. When did you start recruiting other advisors to do the same thing underneath you?
2017 is the year that we decided to make that switch and focus on training advisors and training people to join the career with us, So that became our main focus today. It's where I spend most of my time. And you are correct. In the beginning, I invited my people, relative, friends to join the webinar that I thought it was very important. And I could understand because I had been living here for 14 years. I understood the culture, the jokes, and everything in the English language, but they could not understand anything. So the person in front of the audience was cracking jokes that nobody could get it. Nothing made sense. After the workshop, they did not understand. They thought they learn more about money, to something they want, but really they didn't get anything from the workshops. So I decided to do in Portuguese, and that made a huge difference because it's not just the language, Seth, it's understanding the culture behind it, right? So when you work with Brazilians, Venezuelans, Chileans, they all have a different culture, and there's that little difference that makes all the difference in the world for our clients and our agents as well.
That makes a lot of sense. Obviously on the show, we preach the value behind a targeted niche marketing on a regular basis. So I love that you built one based on language, based on demographics, based on psychographics. How, let's talk about the evolution. So you started out serving clients directly.
Correct.
Were you crafting customized marketing materials that had like written in Portuguese, pictures of the right people? Tell me a little bit about the marketing that you did to break through.
All of the above. So I was joining different Chamber of Commerces here in South Florida. There's a lot of different groups that Brazilians go to network, to develop their businesses. So I was presenting to them, talking to them. We had some written material in Portuguese. At the time, none of the carriers even had the language. Some people didn't even know where Brazil was on the map. So it was kind of a challenge in the beginning. And over time, people became a little more conscious about what we did, how we did it. And now we have videos, we have marketing materials, we have brochures from large insurance companies, all translated to Portuguese, so we can better service the market. And that has made I can say we can make a difference in the industry. One person can kind of start something as long as they believe enough and go after it,
Absolutely. And when did you know you were onto something? When did you get your first, oh my God, this is working way better than anything I could have tried, that was normal, traditional financial services marketing?
So this was a funny day. I got an email from the governor of Florida. And that email invited me to a dinner that they did hosting in the government house. And the governor's mentioned with him and the first lady. And I was like, man, this for sure is some kind of fake hoax, spam. So I called them up. I said, is this for real? Who am I talking to? And I was talking to his assistant at the time. And indeed, he was searching out for leaders in the communities here in South Florida. And somebody referred my name as somebody who had an influence with the Brazilian community. And I said, you know what? That thing has been paying off over time. Maybe I don't see it yet, but it's kind of creating kind of momentum. So it was a great time to be at the governor's mansion. It was a networking meeting for leaders in the state. And to be able to be there representing Brazilians was quite an honor, to be honest.
That is absolutely incredible. When did you start bringing on other financial advisors to help you serve the market?
So that was 2017. I said, listen, guys, my vision is bigger than just serving clients. I believe we can make Brazilians a wealthy community here in the United States because we all come from different backgrounds. We all know how to make money, but we don't know the strategies that the people here use, right? So if you put your money in a mattress and think it's saving money, that way is the way to be rich. You are a long way from actually doing something that creates wealth. So I started to call out and say, my mission is to create a wealth Brazilian society in the United States. I cannot do it by myself. I need other people who believe that crazy dream. And slowly but surely, other people started to join and take their license. And we started training people in a small group, and that kind of grew over time. And now it's more of a calling for careers because a lot of people who are coming from another country, we have lawyers, we have dentists, we have doctors. They moved here because they want a better life for them and their families, but they cannot translate their career. If you are a doctor, you don't want to start for 20 years in training before you can start practicing medicine again. And this was a professional career. They can start fairly quickly because they already have all that it takes to talk to people, to do networking, to think business instead of just learning everything from scratch. So we have opened that career path for a lot of Brazilians in our community thanks to that process.
That is absolutely incredible. 500 advisors. I'm assuming they're not all in South Florida.
No. Nowadays, everybody's all over the U.S. I was just talking to somebody in Nevada right now, and I have another agent that I'm training in Utah. And we are leveraging technology quite a bit, especially after COVID. COVID was, instead of a problem for us, was a benefit because it forced us to be creative. It forced us to help clients online by Zoom. And that just became our kind of a growing, almost like a starting point for our agency to really grow.
And if they're all over the country, forgive my ignorance of the niche, are there enough Brazilians in all of these different markets to make it work?
Yes, absolutely. So here's some numbers I like to talk to people about. If you go research, according to the US Census, there are about 2 million Brazilians in the US. Of course, those are the ones they can count and measure, right? Because there's a lot of people that they don't know about. And our agency has served over 20,000 clients over time. So we have barely scratched the surface, to be honest. And of course, we are growing and increasing. But then again, we're talking about the Brazilian population. Now we have Hispanics and we have Americans in our agency because they like the training, they like the energy, and they can just get the Portuguese and translate to their niche. So it's all about being able to expand.
That's absolutely incredible. How are you managing a team of 500?
It's with a lot of training, with a lot of online, and we have different leaders. So think about as a conglomerate of agencies. Everybody's working together, but there's different leaderships and different agents, leaders that kind of take over their group, and we help guide them. Not everybody is everybody's an independent contractor, and we just kind of follow the same model. There's a lot of coordination. We host a big event once a year, which we call our Congress. Last year we had almost 650 people come together to the convention center here in Palm Beach. And there was a day and a half, 2 days of training. And this year we are expecting 1,000 people on that convention, all Brazilians. So it's a pretty interesting thing to see to happen. It's kind of exciting.
That is absolutely incredible. Congratulations. That's an amazing success story. Have you tracked the ripple effect in terms of your 500 plus advisors, how many clients they've helped with your process?
Yes, we are measuring that. So because our focus is primarily life insurance, we have paid over $13 million in claims to clients. And we focus on life insurance that has those riders. So if you get sick, you can advance your policy. If you had a cancer, heart attack, stroke, you can cash out the life insurance ahead of time. You don't have to die to use. So we've paid over $13 million to our community. And I tell people this would never happen if those people were asking money on GoFundMe or if they were collecting in their society. So it's making a difference, right? And that's what it's all about.
That is beautiful. You know, with all the success you've achieved for yourself, your clients, your agents, what's your biggest challenge now?
The biggest challenge is to continue growth and keep the quality of our training. So now we are investing on broadcasting material. Our main training here on Saturdays is it's transmitted live. And we are using the same platform that those major churches use for cameras and different scenes and stuff, because it has to be interesting for people. No? It's not the same as a Zoom call. It's really kind of a webinar, a seminar live. And we do that every week, every Saturday. So that's a challenge by itself. But also we are creating now a learning platform where people can join and they can start from class 1 to class 99, and we know and track their progress. So we know they know what they need to know to talk to their clients. So that's
awesome.
That's our challenge, is to keep that quality of the training across the board.
What you've built is absolutely amazing. What do you do in your spare time?
I sleep and think about that. That's like, my spare time is this. It's a passion project for us. In the beginning, when I started, it was all about purpose. And I believe my purpose was helping these families to protect their finances. Now is to change lives with the career. Every time I have a new agent and they are struggling in America with some kind of an odd job, they come in, they join the profession, they start to learn. All of a sudden, they are paying off debt, they're buying their first home, their family is well set up, and they have all these clients that love them. So to me, that's all about that. And that's kind of a passionate project. And when you go to this point, you kind of have to work for passion, not for money. It's kind of a cliche to say it, but I guess when you get to that point, it really becomes true.
Absolutely. 500 plus agents. Have you formed like your own IMO at this point?
No, we are under an IMO that supports us quite a bit, and we love the relationship that we have with them. We have other offers, and we always tell them, it's not about the extra 2%, 5% commission. It's about the relationships that you can trust and be with them forever, especially in the insurance industry where you see these large funds acquiring different, IMOs and marketing organizations. When you do that, it becomes all about the dollar sign and the commission, and it's not about the people anymore. So we love the relationship with our IMOs and the CEO of Five Rings Financial, and to me, that's what it's all about.
All right. Well, you built something absolutely amazing. Congratulations on all your success. For our viewers, for our folks watching or listening, who'd like to learn more, where is the best place for them to go?
Well, if you are American, LinkedIn is the place. I kept my LinkedIn in English so you can understand what's in there. So reach out to me over there. If not, Instagram, it's all in Portuguese. If you are Brazilian, just reach out on Instagram or email. So I think those are the best ways to get direct access to us.
All right. Well, Gustavo, thank you so much for your time. We know it's incredibly valuable.
My pleasure, Seth. Thank you for having us.
You are welcome. Thank you, everyone, for watching or listening, and we will talk to you or see you next time.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com.